What's up, guys? My name is Moses, also known as Mojo, and today you guys will follow the process with me as I change out the hard drive in my 2010 iMac 27-inch. Just a quick backstory here. For some reason, when I would turn the computer on, it would start to boot up, and then it would just shut back off. And so I took it to Apple, and you know, when products are that old, they can only do so much. But they were able to tell me that the hard drive was faulty. So went over to OWC, ordered me an install kit to not only upgrade the hard drive to a solid state hard drive or an SSD hard drive, but to go ahead and get me a new one and change it out. It said that a DIY guy can do it, and you know I'm a DIY guy. So we're gonna walk through it. They got some great instructions on the website. We're gonna walk through it. Let's see if it works. All right, so some quick unboxing here. First and foremost, they send you a catalog that you can look through to see if you want some more of their products they offer on the website. Next, they give you a harness that you're going to need to connect to the current cords inside of your computer to be able to get power to the new hard drive, a cleaning cloth and some suction cups to be able to take the glass off, and some screwdrivers to help take it off as well. And then last, they give you the solid state drive and a mounting bracket that you're going to need to hook it up. Without a doubt, they give you step-by-step instructions on the website on how to do this. This right here tells you this is a 3 out of 5, so not too hard, not too easy. It should take us about 35 minutes to do. So let's get to it. Let's go ahead and make sure everything is unplugged from the Mac. So I took out all my cords here. Put some gloves on, that way none of my fingerprints get behind the screen. All right, so first thing first, we'll take our suction cup and put them on the screen. This one's fairly easy. You just take one side, bend it down to make it loose. So we'll do that on both of them here. Put that there. Put that there. Then lightly pull. That comes off. This is our screen. You want to put this somewhere nice, and you want to put this somewhere to where it won't get messed up. Next, we actually need to remove 4 screws on each side of the Mac. They actually do give you some T10 screwdrivers actually to take off the screws. I did not know that at first, so you're going to see me use some other tools here to take it off, like this right here. This is a tool that's very helpful, even with your T10, to help catch any screws that may fall out. That small DeWitt magnet is, it came with another screw kit I had, but you can get that at like your AutoZone or any kind of Home Depot shop. I was using an Allen wrench, you see here, because I didn't know that they came with those screwdrivers. Once you take those off, then you are able to go ahead and slightly pull the screen forward. The instructions said that you're supposed to be able to just like use your thumb to get that off. I guess mine was in there pretty tight, so I used a flathead to lightly kind of lift it up. Then after that, I was able to kind of wiggle it a little bit and then push it up. Then of course here, you gotta push the kind of clip in and then pull down. That came off pretty easily. This part right here, and you got to forgive, trying to work the camera at the same time. Obviously, the focus was on the wrong area here, but there actually is a connector for the screen there that turns it on that you have to unhook. And then lastly, your last connector there, which is really easy just to pull out. The hardest thing is getting your hands in there because the cords are still connected, so you can only pull the screen out so far, but it's not hard to kind of lift up. And this right here would be a view of what it looks like all removed. After you get it removed, then you have to take the 2 cords off. This is what I was referring to earlier. You're just simply going to push those off. You can leave those there for the moment. Then we're going to come back and grab one of those screwdrivers that they supplied us with to remove the 2 screws that are holding in the hard drive. Very, very easy. You could have used a little magnet thing to put on there to take it off. As you see, mine actually fell, so this is a great example of why it's nice to have those little magnet connectors, because that helped me to grab my screw back. Definitely a nice little thing to have in the toolkit. All right, then you can just easily lift that out and bring it wherever your work area is. Now, this is where we want to unhook the mounting bracket. So you're going to take the 2 screws off to kind of hold it in place. That actually holds it to the bottom inside the computer. This is the actual bracket right here. You're going to take that off. Then at this point, now you can remove your hard drive. you'll see here, you'll want to slide the new solid state drive into the mounting bracket. So you want to line those up and give it a nice little push to get up in there, make sure it's nice and firm. And then they give you 8 screws. This is very, very important. It could save you some time because it took me some time to get these in. So I did use a regular Phillips screwdriver, one you might use for glasses. But notice the threads on these. If you can see, one of the threads is a lot more fine. It's a lot more threads on one of the screws than the other. That's because one is actually smaller than the other one. And that is the one, the smaller one, is the one that you're actually going to use to screw into the bracket. I'm not quite sure what the other 4 screws are. There was no use for them. I thought they might be extra, but I don't know where you would use them at. Either way, now we're going to just simply reinstall the bracket as it was on the original hard drive. So that's why I kind of took mine off in place and left it so I can know how to install it exactly the way it was on the other drive. And there it is. Now we're gonna put it back in. Easy peasy, you just slide it back into the holes that they already have right there inside the computer. As you see, I put my magnet thing on there to make sure that if a screw drops, it's not dropping way down there. Screwing things back in, screwing the screws back into the hard drive here, simple and easy. Now this is what I was speaking of earlier. You have to connect the connector from the computer to the harness that they gave you. And then you put that piece on the harness onto the new solid state drive. I'm gonna connect this here. This part right here was a little interesting. So they give you this little thing right here is supposed to help monitor the temperature inside of the computer. And so you'll see you're supposed to hook it into the computer. Now mine, as I zoom in here, as you see, mine already had something hooked in. And when I tested the computer, after I put it back together, when I put the red and white cord in, it still ran the fans heavy. So if your iMac actually already has it hooked up, you may want to run a test before unhooking it and putting that red and white cord in. All right, now it's just simply back to reassembling the Mac as it was. I kind of go in reverse order. I hook that first easy cord up first. I tell you, it's a lot more easier to do when you're not trying to work a camera, and make sure the lighting gets in there as well. Then came over here and clipped that part in over here on the bottom left. This one though, camera or not, that's probably still gonna be that was the hardest cord for me to take out. May not be the same in your computer, definitely extremely hard for me to take out of mine. But after some play here, I was able to kind of get it pushed in because it's difficult because you can't let it just fall back because then it'll be pulling on the cords. And then here, this is the main thing that actually connects your computer to the display. So you want to make sure that the little hook inside there gets hooked properly. All right, so when you're putting your screen back on, you'll actually want to put the 2 screws in the middle on first because you'll want to use like one of the screwdrivers they provided you with to kind of lift up the screen to make sure that the screws are getting in there properly. Then after that, it's just going back and installing all the screws. This is me. I sped up the video a little bit. I had already installed the screws, so I'm just going to tighten them in at this point. Take your cloth, clean off any dust that may have come. Matter of fact, I did it on both sides since I had it off. I was like, let me go ahead and just clean off all the glass on the inside here. Then we slightly insert it back in. Those strong magnets are gonna catch it. And I would say it's about time to test it, see if it works. Well, I guess I gave it one more quick clean on the outside. Because it's a new hard drive, obviously you need to boot it from somewhere. I tried to boot mine through internet recovery, then had to boot up from USB. After that, I was finally able to get my Mac up and going. And there you have it.